All right, well, good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Have you all been blessed yesterday by the cooking class? Amen. So I want to tell you something real short, and it was kind of on the lines of what Elder Bailey was talking about. But it's been 3 years now. I weighed, maybe 4. I weighed 285 plus pounds. And now I'm down to about 185, 190. I got down to 150, and my doctor said, you got to gain some weight. You're too small, you're sick looking. He said, your labs are not coming back appropriate. And then once I gained about 20 pounds, 30 pounds off of that, my labs came back normal. And I wouldn't have been able to have done it if I wouldn't have started to eliminated a bunch of junk out of my diet. I was just eating a lot of junk, and so now I try to watch what I eat as much as I can, especially being a pastor now when you're on the road a lot and you have 3 churches that are all an hour and 15 minutes apart from each other. It's really hard to live healthy. So it's important for us to live healthy, and I appreciate Chef Mark Anthony being here. Amen? So let's go ahead and have a word of prayer. And that's why it's important for us to eat healthy. Amen? That's why it's important for us to cook healthy and to as much as we possibly can. So let's pray. Father, we are so thankful and we are blessed to have Mark Anthony here. And Father, I know that you are using him in a mighty, mighty way. Father, I pray now for your Holy Spirit to touch our hearts and our minds. And Father, I pray in the name of Jesus that we all can move to a healthier way of living in every single thing that we do. And Father, we'll be sure to give you all the praise and the honor and glory. We pray it in your precious Son's name. Amen. Amen. Now, without any further ado, we all know who he is, Chef Mark Anthony.
Amen. Well, thank you. It's a little warm out. Yesterday was really humid, though, so today it's a little better, I think. And we're starting to get a little breeze coming through here, so if we can get that breeze coming through, that'd be great. Yes, yesterday we talked a lot about just simple nutrition, and today we're going to get into the detoxing part. And at the wellness centers, what we do is we usually get everybody right on a detox and get those cells working the way they're supposed to, get the intestines going the way they're supposed to. You'll hear a lot of people talking about fasting, and there is some serious power in fasting, okay? And why is it that a lot of the newer Bibles of different versions have taken out the word fasting? Yes, if you look at them and compare them, like on Bible Gateway or something, some of them, instead of saying fasting and prayer, it'll say prayer alone. Yes. So there must be something really powerful about fasting that Satan's trying to make sure that you don't fast. Now, you'll notice a lot of the big wording out there today is intermittent fasting, right? Have you all heard intermittent fasting? Okay. Intermittent fasting is probably not what you think. Because the whole world thinks that intermittent fasting is something you do at night and through the morning, and you do that every day. You know, you don't want to eat after 7 o'clock or something like that, and then that's your intermittent fast. Okay, there's nothing intermittent about something that you do every single day consistently, okay? Now, if you studied out intermittent fasting, when it first started, they were finding out that there was a lot of success if people fasted for just 1 or 2 meals a week. And it was usually breakfast. They would just not have breakfast or lunch, breakfast and lunch, 1 or 2 days a week, that type of thing. And they were finding a lot of success with this. And somewhere through the loop of the internet stupidity, for lack of a better word, as to what they do, they read an article and they just change it a little bit, and pretty soon intermittent fasting is something that people do every day. That's not intermittent fasting. That's just plain fasting. And what does breakfast mean? You're breaking the fast. Exactly. We've been doing this for generations. You know, and it is good to make sure that you don't have food late at night, you know, and you go throughout the entire night without eating, and then you break your fast. And of course, you want to have the biggest meal for breakfast. Isn't it breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a pauper? You know, it used to be breakfast was the biggest meal of the day. And then it was dinner was the biggest meal at midday. If you remember the Waltons days, dinner was the biggest meal, and then supper was the last meal of the day. And the definition of supper is actually sup or soup. It was just an itty-bitty little meal. But then lunch came into the picture, and lunch comes in and says, hey, dinner, I'm kicking you out of here. Go take over supper's position. That's how we ended up with breakfast, lunch, but dinner took the biggest meal with it and went to the biggest meal at the end of the day. And that's kind of how that ended up evolving. That's about the only evolution that takes place is, these little things that society does. So anyway, that's what's happening out there. So fasting is not like fasting used to be fasting. Nowadays, intermittent fasting, if you can do that long period, at the Wellness Center, we actually serve our meals within a 6-hour period. We'll have our breakfast, and then we'll have our last meal, and that's it for the rest of the day. And in the evening time, we might have a little bit of onion and garlic broth. That's it. Just onions and garlic, that type of thing. So it's a really, really simple nothing at the end of the day, if they're going to have anything at all. So today we're going to do some juicing. Because the thing we do after they have their first day of adventure and we feed them a really good meal and have a lot of fun stuff, then they're going to go into their fasting, if you want to call it fasting, juicing, if you want to call it juicing, detoxing, if you want to call it detoxing. And that's what we're doing, is detoxing the body. So I'm going to share with you a couple different types of juicing that we can do here. I've got a whole bunch of varieties here. Everything's been washed before I brought it up here. And we're going to start with a green drink. So green drinks are pretty easy. You just grab everything green. This right here is a NAMA juicer, okay? N-A-M-A. They should pay me because I do so much promotion of their product. Another really good product is Hurom, H-U-R-O-M. And those are the two best ones out there. They run about $400, $500, $600. You can usually get them for about $400. No. The Ninjas have friction, and you end up having most of the nutrients depleted out of it. You're not looking, these are friction-free, so they don't end up heating up the juice. So that's what you want to look for. You want to find the ones that don't have the friction. I would stay away from it because it's still the friction. Okay, so we can do whatever we want here, but we're going to do greens. So I'm going to put some kale, and we'll put some spinach in there. We've got cucumbers here. And you want to make these pieces small enough to be able to fit in this little hole here. But for the beginning, I'm just going to get it started. So we'll put some pieces in like this. And celery, I'm going to use the greens. I'm going to use every bit of that. Okay, and just like that. Nice and quiet. Now this side over here is where the pulp is going to come out. And then this side over here is where the juice is going to come out. So this is the way it works. And then you can sit there and just go right in the top like this, which is nice. If you got your pieces small enough, you can just pop them right in the top. Another really good thing I like to put in this is ginger. Fresh ginger is good to give it that little spicy kick. And the little spicy kick is kind of nice. It's really enjoyable. Now there are two ways to do juicing, okay? One of the ways to do juicing is to actually peel everything. Peel your carrots, peel your cucumbers, clean everything, which I have everything clean, but it's not all peeled. And if you do that, it's going to have a much fresher taste. If you do not peel them, which I recommend you do not peel them, it's going to taste dirty, for lack of a better word. It's just going to taste more earthy, would be the better word. How's that? Earthy. It's going to taste much more earthy. So that's what you want to do, is just maybe get that little bit of an earthy flavor to it. But you can use romaine. I mean, you can use any type of greens you want. Sometimes, if the greens are getting where that's kind of done with, then you can just throw it right in the juicer. So that's kind of a nice way to do it. But the fresher the better, of course. So we got our green drink going here. And, the fasting and juicing is such a powerful thing. The reason it's so powerful is because what we need to do, the only thing you're going to have for 2 or 3 days, depending how long our sessions are, is juicing. And you're going to do basically a pint for 3 times a day. A pint for breakfast, a pint for lunch, and a pint later on in the day. And that's what we do. And then in between those times, like every 2 hours, we're going to do a turmeric tea or an onion broth or a ginger tea. Ginger tea and turmeric tea is just water, boil off some turmeric in it, and add a little stevia and strain it off, and it's done. So ginger tea and turmeric tea are very easy to do. You just, do it just like that and let it simmer for a while, strain it, and you're good to go. So here we go. There's a green, whoops. Let me do something really important here. Right here is Celtic salt. Does anybody ever use Celtic salt? Okay, we're going to put a little bit of Celtic salt in there. And the reason we do that is because the Celtic salt, unlike any other salt, opens up those cells better than any other salt. And that's what we want to do. We want to open up those cells so these nutrients can really have a lasting effect and really get in there and do the job they're supposed to be doing. It's expensive to do juicing. You're going through a lot of product. All right, so there's a green one right there. I think that looks pretty good. I got 2 of them out of that. Yay. So, I'm going to fill it right up like that. Okay, so just because I like to have fun, I'm going to go with a different color, and we'll do some carrot, some Roger Rabbit. Once again, I'm just breaking these down so they're going to be able to fit right into the top of this baby. And they do, see, right like that. You can open it up if you really want to get them in there quick. So this one, the base is going to be carrot. As far as the rest of it, we can use the celery in everything. We can use the cucumber in everything. These babies work really good. Don't try this at home, kids. Y'all want to know how to use a knife? All right, I'll show you real quick. Let me show you how to use a knife, okay? What you do is you're going to take your finger, and your finger makes contact with the knife. Your first knuckle basically makes contact with the knife. Now, as long as the knife never leaves the table and the knife never leaves your finger, you're really not going to cut yourself. So my finger is usually right on the food, see, right like that. So as long as the knife never leaves the table, it's when you start going airborne, you're going to have problems. So just calm down, one little step at a time. Pretty soon you'll get faster and faster, and then you'll be ready. Okay, so now we're going to do an orange one. Whoop. This has a little valve here, which is nice. You can close it and pull your juice out, and then you can open it back up again. And I'm just going to close that right there. I'll save that for later. Okay, because we're making orange this time. So this is the nice part about it. You can actually have some fun with some different colors and flavors and get a little creative with the juicing. I find if you put the cucumber in there, it really helps because that's kind of the juiciest of them. Now the thing about the other side here, where the pulp is coming out, you can see how this pulp is so dry. If you use a Champion juicer, you literally have to put the pulp through there 3 times to get it as dry as this is. I mean, this is just dry. You can use this for cookies and make different desserts and breads and things like that, or just throw it in for composting, whatever you want to do with it. I'm ready to start making some recipes with it. I need to make some good recipes with it. So the juicing, there we go. Got that going. Okay. Now, one thing you'll notice, we've got regular juicing, we've got the greens, okay? We've got the greens juicing. You can do just greens. You can do the other vegetables, which is what I'm doing with the carrot juicing right now. And so carrot juicing, we've got different vegetables. You can also do fruit juicing. Whoops, I got to get my salt in there, right? You were going to catch me on that, weren't you? And I want to share one thing with you too here when you're making this. Now you got a little bit different color, isn't that nice? So you can really have some fun. Look at how orange this is coming out. It's really coming out orange. So, and I'll take one more step here if I can find it. Right here. The beets, which I washed these, but I left the outside on it, so it's the earthy type. That's right. And we'll put these babies in here. Let me shut this off. Pieces are a little big. There is a little pump that you can put on the top too. I think I'm going to do all three of these since I've got them. Use them up. Huh? Well, they'll probably have different nutrients, but it's going to be good for you. I like as much variety as possible. That's kind of what I look for. Variety.
What about the Green Star extractors? Are they good?
The what?
Green Star extractors, are they good?
Green Star extractors.
You know what Green Star, the brand is?
No, I don't.
They make similar products. I was just wondering.
I don't know that one. Green Star extractors. Well, I try to stick to the whole natural foods. Just if you can stick to the whole natural foods, the better. But here's this trick, okay? Normally, they always say you want to have your drink, your juicing, and drink it the day that you're making it, okay? You can hold it for 2 or 3 days. There is a secret to it. You know the mason jars? You want to fill it up as full as you can possibly make it. I mean, just right to the very top. Then put your lid on so there's really no oxygen whatsoever in it. And when you do that, you can definitely have it for 2 or 3 days. That's kind of the strategy. Especially on the Sabbath, if you're going to prepare the day before for a day or two, then you want to make sure that there's no oxygen and that's the secret. So. Huh? This is ginger. Yeah, little pieces of ginger just make it so wonderfully colorful. And so this one looks pretty good. This one looks pretty good. I think I'm going to go with it right there. Okay, so this is all vegetable juicing, okay? Look at that purple one. Ooh, boy. That's photogenic there. Up. You're not going to catch me. You're not going to catch me. I thought somebody was going to catch me on that one. Close. There we go. So you can even have some variety when you're juicing, is what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be the same thing all the time. You can definitely have some variety. Okay, another thing you can do is fruit juicing. And if I got time, I'll do some of that later. Fruit juicing is really easy. You just put the fruit in there. But because you're going to do this juicing for 2 or 3 days, we had one lady, she did juicing for an entire 40 days. She lost 50 pounds. She was there for a 21-day session. She wanted to stay longer, and she was willing to pay for it. And I said, yeah, you can stay. You're just, and it was in between sessions, but we try to help take care of people. And she really needed it because she needed the surgery, and they weren't going to do the surgery unless she lost the weight. And so she just wanted to stay, and so I, said, yeah, why don't you just stay here? And she's now in baptismal studies over at Berrien Springs, Michigan. Yeah. So, yeah. She's just a wonderful lady, but she just did all the juicing herself. We taught her how to do it, and she'd come in and do her own juicing every day because we were in between sessions and stuff. So, but she did really good. Okay, the common denominator between all this juicing out there, what is it? This is a hard one, so nobody's going to get it. Yes, it's true. It is very concentrated nutrition, but there's no oil whatsoever. See, this is the secret to juicing. You need to get an oil-free system in your diet. See, our bodies are water-based bodies. We need water as our lubricant, not 10W40, okay? We're supposed to have water-based bodies. Now, the biggest problem that we have in society today is the fats and oils. Type 2 diabetes. We reverse type 2 diabetes almost every single time, 99% of the time, and we've had hundreds of people come through our programs just by simply eliminating the fats and oils. That's all it takes. See, we have these valves inside our pancreas and our receptors and cells and everything, and they go open, close, and open, close, and open, close. Well, if you got a blockage, then you need the insulin to force those doors open and close and open and close. When if you just get rid of the blockage, which is the fats and oils, then your body's doing the job it's supposed to be doing and you don't need all that insulin. Even type 1 diabetics have far more success managing their type 1 diabetes. They'll still have those sticky hinges, but it's much more manageable. So type 1 diabetics are having far more success getting off the fats and oils. That's the cause of type 2 diabetes. It's not because of sugar, it's not because of wheat, it's not because of carbs. That's what you have a reaction to. Just because you have a reaction to something does not mean that's the cause of it. The cause is the oils, and then you have a reaction to different foods. You know, celiacs are the same thing. You know, you have celiac disease, so you have a reaction to wheat. But wheat is not the cause of celiac disease. You just have a reaction to certain foods. A lot of us have reactions to all different types of foods, especially in today's society where we're getting bombarded by so many pesticides. This person has reactions to this. My wife, we did testing on her. She can't eat celery. Every time she eats celery, boy, she gets rashes and everything, and that's the number one problem. And wheat was the second problem with her. But celery, by far, was the biggest problem. And they got celery and everything. We've tried organic, we've tried everything. And so it is that way. So every body is a little bit different. And that's why you kind of got to be in tune with your body. But this oil thing is such a big problem. You know, there's a book out there. It's called The End of Overeating. David Kessler. He was the head of the Food and Drug Administration. Okay, he found out that the manufacturers of food hire scientists to find out how to make their food as addictive as possible. Whatever they can do to make that food addictive, they're going to do it. All the fast food restaurants do it. They hire scientists. Even McDonald's, you know, the bun is specifically designed for addiction. You can eat a full meal, go into McDonald's, eat the bun, and you'll immediately be hungry. That's what it's designed for. And restaurants like TGI Fridays and Chili's. I'm just quoting the book. They hire scientists to work along with the chefs to make every dish as addictive as possible. And they actually found out that there's an exact combination of sugar, oil, and salt. And if you get that exact combination of sugar, oil, and salt on any product, it will trigger your endorphins to desire that product, even if all you do is see a picture of that food a month later. That's how addictive they can make the food today. Oh, if I put this out there, some people's mouths are going to start watering because they know what it tastes like. We were at a class. This was someplace in West Virginia over here. Pastor's probably here. And this couple kids come in there. They were having an actual physical temper tantrum right in the middle of our program at the beginning because they saw the chips and they couldn't have them. I mean, it was a physical pain to them. That's how addicted they were to it. So, but that's how addictive they make this stuff. So, all right, thank you. I know what that is. So we've got to look out for this sugar, oil, and salt combination, okay? You're going to find it on products out there all the time. Sugar, oil, salt. It is everywhere. Now, I do homework because I'm just really good at homework. And I got the USDA Census Bureau here. This is the federal government Census Bureau, okay? For vegetable oil alone, national average for vegetable oil alone here in America, 10.2 pounds per person per month. That's 2 of these that the average person consumes every month just in vegetable oil. 43,000 calories, no nutritional value whatsoever, and you were getting bombarded by this. And it's not that people are just buying it and chug-a-lugging it. It is in everything. They're just putting it everywhere because they know it creates addictions. They want your money. But that's the problem, is this is what's causing all the sickness and disease. Your heart, even olive oil and coconut oil. Okay? Eat the olive instead of the olive oil. The coconut instead of the coconut oil. The corn instead of the corn oil. That's your better solutions. And I'm not the food police, okay? I don't care if you want to put a little olive oil on a salad or something. You know, it's the fact that we're getting massively bombarded by fats and oils that's the problem.
Are you making or do you have a copy of this information you're giving right now?
Not right here today. He was asking if we have copies of the information. I do have copies I can get you, though. So. But this is the problem. The fats and oils is definitely the problem. So, and if you're looking at all the juicing we're doing, no fats and oils. We're getting our cells prepared for the good food that we're going to be eating. You've got to get off the fats and oils. And you're going to have so much success in everything you do. Okay. Well, we've got this done. And let me start with the aloe vera, because one of the things we do, this is aloe vera right here. And you want to be able to, oh, you should see the calories from fat. I'm going to talk about that in a minute here. This aloe vera is so great for digestion. And this is one of the things we do right after they're done juicing, about 2 or 3 days of juicing. When we start introducing regular food again, we do aloe vera with every single meal, right before every single meal. And so you're going to cut the end off of it, stick it in water. Leave it there for a day or two. You're going to drain the water off, put it back in here, put new water in it. And if you do the fresh water, the first day you'll kind of see it's a little slimy. And after the second day, it's kind of thinned out a little bit. And the third day, it just comes out like water. And so you can just cut a piece. I'll just cut a piece like this for today's example. And you're going to cut the spines off of both sides. And then we're just going to, it's like filleting a fish almost. You just want to cut all of this skin off of here so that the only thing you're left with is the meat. Just like that. Okay. So you can put this in the blender. And we're going to add, I hear something up above me. We're going to add just a little bit of water to it. Give this baby a blend. And just like that. And they're actually only going to drink about 4 ounces of that with each meal. So pretty easy to do. Whatever amount you want. It's not a big deal. Any amount you want to do, you'll be okay. Doesn't have much flavor at all, so really flavorless. We should create some flavors for it. That would be nice. So anyway, I want to share with you the calories from fat real quick, because here's the problem, especially with type 2 diabetics. Yeah, you can get rid of these fats and oils, but if you're eating all these processed foods that are loaded with fat, you're going to have the same problem, okay? Now, they changed the labels. Y'all know they changed the labels? This was back in 2016. 2019, I think it was 2019. 2019. The new labels now say they have eliminated the calories from fat. So you no longer have calories from fat on a label. So let me just take these two labels right here. By the way, this would be like the first half of a football game. This would be the second half of a football game. 2,385 calories here, 2,400 calories here. You got 5,000 calories right here. 5,000 calories. I hope you realize it would take 15 pounds of potatoes to get the same amount of calories as in these 2 bags of chips. What do you think's going to give you more fuel to get through the week? These are good carbs, even white potatoes. These are bad carbs. There's a difference, okay? People say, oh, don't eat white rice and white potatoes and all that kind of stuff. You've got to eat the healthy, even the white rice and white potatoes. It's good for you. We're going to be talking about that tomorrow with the white rice and white potatoes. So I'm going to share that with you tomorrow. Okay, they eliminated the calories from fat. That's the only thing they changed on the label. Lobbyists probably spent millions of dollars, because if you knew what the calories from fat is on that label, you would not buy it. Look at this, hummus right here. You know, you get the different Sambra, there's different brands of hummus. 77% calories from fat. They're basically selling you flavored oil. That's what they're doing. You know, but you don't know because they changed the label on you. I call this the dumbing down of America. And so this is the new label right here. There is a way to determine what the calories from fat is on a label, but you have to do some math. Okay? The old labels used to say calories from fat. So now you have to go down in the smaller print to total fat. You take the total fat and you multiply it times 9. Okay? That's going to give you the calories from fat. Now you have to look at the ratio. See, like this one right here is 150 calories, right? Yes, per serving, 150 calories. Total fat is 8 grams. So 9 times 8 is 72. So the old label used to say calories from fat, 72. Now you have to do some math to go even farther here. If calories is 150, calories from fat is 72, what's the percentage? It's about 50% calories from fat. You know, if it was 75%, right? If it was 75 calories from fat, then it would be 50%. It's at 72. So you're at about 50% oil, calories from fat. So this is how you have to do it. You just take the total fat, multiply it times 9. That'll give you the calories from fat, and then you figure out the ratio. The best doctors in the world will tell you that your calories from fat on a daily consumption needs to be less than 10%. I've seen them down to 5, I've seen some up to 15, but the bottom line is if you're eating stuff that's 50%, 75%, where's my oil here? 100% calories from fat, weight gainers for one, with no nutritional value, activates the liver to produce more cholesterol. This is your type 2 diabetes and the cause of so many of your problems. The number one problem that we have in society today, the fats and oils. You get off the fats and oils, you're going to have so much more success, and you're never going to notice it. You're never going to miss it. You just don't. So,
Show us that. How many of us
huh?
keep doing it?
Keep doing what?
What you just said, eating it.
Quit eating it.
No, I say half a percentage or stop it. You just keep on doing it.
That's right. That's what we got to do. Just stop. Just say no. Yes? It's digestive. It just gives you a better digestive. What we're trying to do is create a microbiome. She asked, why do we do the aloe vera? And we're creating a better microbiome in your gut to help. So if you get a better microbiome, then your whole gut flora is going to have much more success. And we're going to talk about that tomorrow. Let me continue here, though. So I got to get some more cooking going here. So one other thing we do with juicing, let me share with you real quick here, because I hope I'm not running out of time. Yeah, we got good time. We got plenty of time. We can keep you here till 7 o'clock, right? Okay. If, let's say, we've got people that need to actually gain weight, because that happens once in a while, that people come in and they actually have to gain weight. So I'm actually, I got a label on here. So I'm actually going to take these green apples. It's really the only apple. Is that rain? Here you go. Come on over. It's actually raining out there, huh? There's my keys. I got my window open on the van. Thank you. All right, maybe we'll get some cooler weather here. So we'll do some green apples here. Green apples really are a wonderful, wonderful apple that don't get much recognition. Yes. I planted one green apple tree, so we'll see how it does. So basically green apples, oh, I got to do a pineapple though. All right, we're going to do some cutting here then. Pineapple, real easy to cut. We're going to show you the easy way to cut a pineapple. Take the top off, take the bottom off. Then we're going to go around the sides with it. And you just want to make sure you're getting all those little pits out of there. That's where the bitter part is. The outside here is the bitter part. So just like that. And I always do fresh on pineapple. I just don't do the cans anymore. And then you quarter it, then you can cut out the actual core. And I know some people like that core, but it just doesn't work when you're going to take a bite out of it and you got this rock hard core in it. So you'll notice anytime I'm cutting up here, I always get rid of whatever I'm not going to be serving. So the only thing left on the table is what I'm actually going to be consuming. So get all the stuff out of the way and then you're left with this. Okay. And you can cut these any size you want this way. You can make it into tidbits or whatever size you want, chunks, and then you go this way with it. So pretty easy. So here's a $2.85 pineapple. I'm thinking that's about 3 cans of pineapple maybe. So you're saving a ton of money by going fresh instead of canned. So that's a good deal. That is a good deal. Now in here you could actually put whatever you wanted in there. What we do a lot of is blackstrap molasses. If you're going to do for weight gain, you want to get the blackstrap molasses in there. And then we can hit it with some water, because that's what's going to take to blend this thing. And if you want a little stevia, you guys use stevia? I like stevia. We'll try not to use too much here, though. Got too big of a piece of apple in there. You could make this as thick or as thin as you want it. And, but yeah, you could add your flaxseed to it, all your different, there's so many different things you can put in it. All right. That's really good. Yes, yes, definitely. Okay. When they come to the Wellness Center, see, we've got them on this fasting thing, and everybody's fasting. The next thing we really do is do the serious evaluations on them, because we want to know what their problems are. What kind of body aches do you have? Do y'all have body aches? Well, I'm looking forward to that new body, amen? So we're going to find out what your body aches are and why. And tomorrow we're doing the physical fitness class. And But what we do when they're first there in the very first couple days is we want to find out what their range of motion is, because let's say they've got a shoulder problem, okay? So we're going to find out where the pain starts, because you might be able to go up to here, and that's as far as you can go, but the pain might start right here. So we have to find out where the pain starts and how much range of motion they have. And 99% of the time, by the time they leave, the pain is either gone or, so subtle, and the range of motion is far better. So that's why we want to do a range of motion testing right when they get there, so we can see where they're at. So we're going to find out, is the range of motion problems and the physical pain because of something that needs to have surgery, which we can't do anything about, or is it something that's just because of inflammation? Because they're not eating what they're doing. They're not eating the right foods. And so we're doing inflammation-reducing foods. That's why they cut back on all the wheat, because wheat is very inflammatory. The new hybridized wheat is very inflammatory. So we get them off of that, and pretty soon we find out, hey, they got better range of motion now. Their body aches are going away. One of the things we use is this stinging nettle. Has anybody ever had that? This is stinging nettle and comfrey salve, okay? People with arthritis, this is what you use. And you will start getting range of motion. Your pain's going to start going away. Sometimes, people are really bad with their range of motion. We had one lady in an event a few years back, and she had really bad arthritis. She came to one of our programs, and the arthritis was so bad she couldn't do anything. Couldn't even write. And the doctor that she was going to said, there's really nothing we can do about it. It is what it is. And a few years later, she was using this, went on an all plant strong diet, right? And arthritis went away. She ran into that doctor, and he had to quit his practice because his arthritis was so bad. And here she's like, how you doing? And he's like, what did you do? So she told him what she did. But that's a really good one for body aches. And we'll start putting this on joints. Whatever joints are hurting on the body, when the people come in there, that's your ticket right there. Stinging nettle and comfrey salve. Another thing we're going to do, let's say, which I'm a perfect example of this right now, castor oil. Y'all know the benefits of castor oil? Lumps, breast cancer, castor oil poultices, and the lumps go away. Well, cataracts. And I've been putting this on my eyes for the last week now because they told me I've got cataracts starting in my eyes. So I'm going to be a testimony here, hopefully, in I guess it's about 3 months they're talking of doing this for the cataracts. But so I've never had to do it, but I know that people have had success with this. Yes. Bone spurs, and there's one other thing too with the foot there. Boy, that stuff is really good. That was really good. It's hot up here. Okay, I gotta get some cutting going. But that's what we do. We get these people, cancer patients. Basically what you're doing with cancer patients, a lot of soy products. You're loading up on soy products. That is the #1 cancer-preventing vegetable on the market, and you can eat them every day. And they're that good for you. And I know people are saying, oh, wait, I thought soy caused cancer. No, soy does not cause cancer. What happened was there were these people out there, lots of people, that had cancer. And they were dying. And they were blaming it on the soy. Well, see, we have these receptors in our body. The soybeans fit inside those receptors perfectly, just like a key. And then the cancer meds cannot come in and do the job they're supposed to be doing. So if you're a cancer patient on cancer meds and chemo and everything, then you do not want to take the soy because it's going to block the cancer meds from doing what they're doing. So all these people were dying and they were blaming it on the soy. But then they found out that the soybeans are actually doing the same job. So we load them up on soy, we load them up on lemons, 12 lemons a day. 12 lemons a day. And massive amounts of garlic. Lemon water, lemon juice every morning, and they're drinking lemon all day long, and we're putting it in the food and everything. We had this lady Her name was Christine. She had stage 4 cancer. She only had a couple months to live. And she calls me up and says she wanted to come out. And I was like, we don't have a session starting, for about 3 weeks down the road. She says, I don't need a session. I just need a place to rest and have peace and something to eat. She knew she only had a couple months to live. And I just, I'm kind of like him and Han. I said, okay, Lord, what would you do? And I said, come on out. I said, even if you're coming over to our house for dinner and stuff, we'll take care of you. And so we brought her out there. My wellness director was out of town because her mom was dying over in Illinois. So she was gone anyway. And she wasn't going to be back for like 3 weeks. And so she's having a real problem with her mom. And her mom's dying. She doesn't know when she's going to die. And I said, look, why don't you just bring your mom back here? I said, it's a nice, peaceful place, because she had no support group out in Illinois. She didn't know anybody there. And we were her support group. We were her family. I mean, my wellness director's family, and I wanted to make sure that she had support, family support, when all this takes place. So she brings her mom back. And then I told her, I said, oh, by the way, there's a guest here. Don't worry about her. We're just getting her something to eat. She's got stage 4. She started working on this girl because she just wanted to avoid her mom at all costs because it was so traumatic. You know what I mean? She wanted to keep her mind occupied in other ways. She started working on this girl day and night. There's nobody else there. She didn't have 15 other people that she had to deal with. And so she's, morning, noon, and night. And the lady, Christine, who had the cancer, she would actually go in with her mom at least once or twice a day and pray with her and sing songs with her out of a hymnal, So it was kind of nice that she was there for that as well. But here she is, 15% oxygen. A month later, because she stayed there for an entire month, later, her oxygen level was at 25%. And she had oxygen tanks. She actually brought oxygen tanks and everything with her. She couldn't go anywhere without her oxygen tanks. A year later, 85% oxygen levels. It's been 2 years later, she's still alive. She's got a 90% oxygen level, and the doctor's like, we don't know what you're doing, but just keep doing it. And and that doesn't always happen, but that's just one of those things that it was a blessing to be able to have her there and see that take place. So. What about the mama? The what? She passed away. Yeah. Yeah, pretty quick, right? Yeah, she wasn't there, but I don't even think a month. So. Okay. Well, let's get some stuff cooking here. This is my form of cooking. Oh, big watermelons. Yeah, my mom didn't get too many watermelons either. She was always like, they just take up so much room in the fridge. So tough to cut. So I do things the easy way. We had to carry them home from the fridge, so that was always a big issue. Okay. So once again, I'm going to get rid of whatever I'm not using. We'll see how fast it is to cut watermelon here. And cut this baby in half here. You can lay it flat like this. This is where I kind of trim it up a little bit just to make sure it's pretty and perfect. You can have fun doing that. And then you do some slices sideways like this. Of course, if you're going to do this at home, don't put your hand on this side. Okay? Keep your hand on top so you don't go slicing your fingers off. And then you do slices on the top. And you can make these slices as big or as small as you want. And then you go this way. Just like that. Literally 1 minute, you got your entire watermelon cut up. Yeah, I should have been a cook. Was that too easy or what? Here's what I'll do. Watch this. We'll go like that. We'll go like this. We'll put some in there, some in there. Okay, we got this. We got this. And we'll go like this. Okay. It's challenging working in a different kitchen like this every day. So you can do that with any fruit too. We're going to take our cantaloupe, cut off both ends, and you just start cutting all the way around the outside like this. The cantaloupe season is on its way, isn't it? Yeah. My wife and I, we've got something new that we planted this year, and something nobody's ever heard of before, called butternumpkins. It's the cross between a butternut squash and a pumpkin. And there was this Seventh-day Adventist over in Tennessee who created them, and so he gave me a bunch of seeds to plant, and we're going to try it and see how they turn out. They're growing, so it's hard to say what's going to happen to it. I didn't hear that. I can't hear it. Oh, well, I look for yellow bellies is what I look for. And you want the stem that's actually brown and not white. If you find the stripes, they're little bee stings. If you see little bee stings, lines of bee stings on it, that means it's a really good watermelon because the bees are going after it. Okay, I'm having trouble hearing, especially when I'm chopping or something, so you're just going to have to give me a break here. Woo! Okay, so here we go. You can put, in fact, I'm just going to go like this. We can do 1, 2. Don't put that in here. There we go. 3, 4. Okay. Well, that made it easy. And I'm going to make my job even easier here because I've got some washed grapes. So we can go like that. We've got blueberries. I like washing the blueberries and stuff right inside the containers like this. And then you just leave them in the container. So that's the easy way to do it. Strawberries, we have cut up and everything, all ready to go. Okay, what am I missing? Honeydew. My wife's got so many honeydew lists for me. I'm not a big fan of honeydew. Actually, I'm pretty good at the honeydew list. So same situation. We're just going to cut these babies around. Yeah, we've had so much success of people coming through the wellness centers, and basically it just takes a commitment. You know, you just got to put it in your heart and mind saying, okay, I need to do this. Some people just need to do it. And you're going to be healthier physically, you're going to be healthier mentally, you're going to be healthier spiritually. It's like a win-win in every situation. In fact, I got a spoon right here. That makes it easier for me. I didn't hear that.
Where is the wellness center?
Well, the wellness center I was at was in the South Dakota, Black Hills of South Dakota. There's wellness centers over here. Heartland is a cancer specialist. Eden Valley is a cancer specialist. One of the ones that's a really great deal is Butler Creek. Butler Creek is over in Tennessee. They're about half the price of anybody else. They're kind of a smaller thing, but they've got all the tools and all the everything, you know, so that's a good deal. Probably the best one, in my opinion, is Uchee Pines. Uchee Pines they've got their act together. They've got the right people there, and it's a really good facility. All right, so really in less than 10 minutes, 5 minutes there, we cut enough fruit for 100 people. That should do. Okay. Oh, here we go. Oh, yes. Thank you, DW. Cheesecake from yesterday. Y'all remember the cheesecake we did yesterday? Okay. Well, let's see what we got here. We pull this up. Look at that. See the swirls in it? Oh, my. Look at that. Now, here's what I'm going to do. 3, because I've got to save part of this. 5, 6. So we're going to take 6 of these, like that. We'll get this out of the way. And we'll get some forks here. And if I go, like, put 3 forks in that one. Is that, what do you think? And you could do chocolate sauce on it, but I would say the first 6 people that come up here and grab one of these are going to get a bite, and the rest of the people are just going to say, I wish I had jumped up there and got something. See how you can get the people moving? There we go. Share it with people. They're going to love it. So. Yeah, but the main thing is to read those labels. I've got about 5 minutes here, so I want to share with you something, and this is really going to blow you away. How many of you have ever heard of the word retrogradation? Retrogradation. Okay, retrogradation. That is the process of making food starch resistant. Have you ever heard of starch resistant foods? Okay, what are starch resistant foods? Nobody knows. They've just heard of it. Starch resistant foods means that the food is more resistant to digestion. Now it makes sense, right? Starch resistant, more resistant to digestion. So, retrogradation is the process of making food starch resistant. Now, I did this class on retrogradation a few years ago for 100 doctors. They were having a wellness, vegan, plant-strong seminar that was being held at the McDonald's headquarters in Chicago. Yes, vegan, McDonald's headquarters. And so I did the class on retrogradation. You're getting the 5-minute class today. Okay, retrogradation, process of making food starch resistant. How do you do that? Well, you ever take a baked potato? You know how fluffy it is? When you refrigerate it, it tightens up, right? You just created starch resistant food. It's now much more resistant to digestion. So for type 2 diabetics, this is golden. Because instead of eating those hot rice and hot potatoes and hot French fries and stuff, you heat the food, you refrigerate it, and then you eat it. And it takes much longer to digest, which means it's not going to spike your blood sugar. You see how this works? Right. And it's fabulous because, you know, you're going to have more fuel throughout the day. It takes longer to digest. You give more fuel throughout the day. They did tests with chickpeas. Found out if they refrigerated it and reheated it, refrigerated it and reheated it, did that 3 times, it was far more starch resistant than if they only did it once. Now, not only does this retrogradation give you more of a long energy throughout the day, it also gives you a better bacteria and flora in your intestines, which protects you from all the pesticides, which is causing the celiac disease and leaky gut. Celiac disease, leaky gut is not caused by wheat. You're having the reaction to wheat. It's caused by the pesticides, and then you have reactions. So you get that better microbiome in your intestines, and you're going to have far more success. And I don't know if it reverses it yet. They have not came out with any studies like that yet, but they do know that it protects your intestines from all the damage. And we're getting hammered by pesticides everywhere. You know these labels here? I don't know if I have one here. They say non-GMO verified. Here we go. This one's USDA organic. Have you seen the ones that say non-GMO verified? What a joke. What a joke that is. Okay, if it says USDA organic, it is non-GMO. First of all, okay, you got that? If it says USDA organic, it is non-GMO. Non-GMO verified means it's not genetically modified, but it's still loaded with pesticides. So they took the old food that was loaded with pesticides, then here comes the genetically modified era, and all of a sudden, we're going back to what we were doing before, but it's loaded with pesticides. So it's not doing you much good. I would rather have the organic that's not loaded with the pesticides. And they charge you extra for that. They're charging you extra for the same food they were giving you before that was loaded with pesticides because they could say non-GMO verified. And Monsanto, our friends at Monsanto, are the ones that promoted this thing. Why? More money. See, Monsanto sells organic seeds, they sell modified seeds, they sell every type of seed people want. They own the entire market. They don't care which one you buy, they just care which one's making the most money. So if they can get you and talk you into spending an extra quarter per bag because it's got a little non-GMO verified on it, they're making more money. It's all about the money. But that non-GMO verified doesn't mean diddly squat to me because it's loaded with pesticides. So that's kind of a warning label to me if it says that non-GMO verified, unless it says the USDA organic. If it says the USDA organic, then you've got something. So, all right. I'll probably have somebody come up here and help serve. Right here, we've got some juices. These are the juicing. We'll start the line over here and come through here, and we'll do some fruit, and then we've got the juices over here today. So that's it for today. But I do want to share with you one thing real quick here. I'm not going to have my credit card machine for the books this week. I can write down your credit card information, and I'll take care of it next week when I get home, but my computer is not able to function that way. Or you could write a check or that type of thing. But I think I'll have a closing prayer and pray over the food real quick here, and then we should be ready. Oh, Heavenly Father, we thank you so much. You've given us such wonderful food to eat that you created, things that haven't been modified by man and messed up, and the world is just twisting everything they can for $1. But we thank you for the food that you provide that's healthy and nourishing and not just helping our body run better, but actually repairing our body, which is so important. So bless this food and have it so that everything we do, including the food we eat, is all to glorify you. And we thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.